The question of the day reads, using Mason's gain formula, determine the transfer function. So when given a question like this, we start by drawing the signal flow graph. Start by drawing the signal flow graph. And the signal flow graph is drawn this way. We are drawing the signal flow graph. That is, from this node to this node we have T1, then we have T2, T3, then T4. Then from here we have a feedback loop. Up here we have a feedback loop to that point, which is -1. That is a feedback loop. Again, in between node 2 and 3, we have a feedback node. Here again, we have a feedback loop, which is H1 negative. Again, we have a feedback in between T1 and T2. Then to what? In between T3 and T4. This one is H2. And the other one are moving forward. TZ, and the other way around. So from there, let's look for the forward part. How many forward parts do we have? You have the forward part. So let's look at part 1. Forward part we have from G1, G2, G3 to G4. That is one forward part. That is forward part is equals to G1, G2, G3, then G4. Do we have another forward part? No. And if we don't have another forward part, we go to individual loops. Individual loops. Oh my God. For the individual loops, we have this is an individual loop, this is another individual loop, and this one is another individual loop. So we have 3 loops. So let's start with loop 1. Loop 1 is equals to G2, G3, H2, but it's a negative. Loop 2 is equals to negative G3, G4, H1. Then loop 3 we have G1, G2, G3, then G4, negative. Then do we have a non-touching loop? No, we don't have a non-touching loop. So next is Mason's gain formula. Mason's gain formula, it is given as transfer function is equals to 1 all over D summation of P dk. So this is the formula. We need to find the value of D, P, and K. So D is equals to 1 minus sum of individual loops plus sum of two non-touching loops. So on the non-touching loops you have 0. So D is equals to 1 minus what? Sum of individual loops. This is minus T2, T3, H2 minus G3, G4, H1, 10 minus G1, G2, G3, G4 minus plus 0, because we don't have an untouching loop. So D is equals to 1 minus no, in fact it is 1 plus G2, G3, H2 plus G3, G4, H1 minus plus G1, G2, G3, G4. So this is the value of D, and the formula was this one. So when we are substituting everything to the formula, transfer function is equals to 1 all over D, which is this one, that is 1 plus G2, G3, H2 plus G3, G4, H1 plus G1, G2, G3, G4. So that's the value of D10 times what? G1, G2, G3, G4. So the transfer function is equals to G1, G2, G3, G4 over 1 plus G2, G3, H2 plus G3, G4, H1 plus G1, G2, G3, G4. This is the transfer function of this question. Thank you.